Kane, thank you for joining us today. You've been very open in the past with your struggles with mental health. Why is it important that someone with your profile is so open and honest about it and uses their platform to promote awareness?
I find it really cringe when people say you've got a profile, but I suppose you do have a little one. But if you've, like I say, if you've got any kind of profile, which is again it's a little bit cringy, I think you've just got to use it in the right ways. Do you know what I mean? Spread for me what I think are the right messages, and then if for me saying something inspires someone else to say something, and like I said before, they get stuff off the chest, or they reach out for help, or someone sees someone and they reach out to them, and do you know what I mean? It's just a bit of a circle that goes around. So I feel it's just important to kind of spread the right messages.
Most people think the life of a footballer is all glitz and glam, but what people don't see is the injuries, living away from home, from your family, the social media comments. These all take their toll on players and can seriously impact their mental health, can't they?
Yeah, of course, I lived away from home from when I was, I moved out of the house when I was 16. Didn't move back to Burton until I was 24. So it's a mental struggle at times, especially what you say when you are injured, especially when football's not going anywhere and you've got people in your comments saying you're the worst player in the world. So yes, it's absolutely not nice at times, but people will say it's part and parcel of it. Really, you kind of have to deal with it in the best way possible. But I don't believe anyone that says it doesn't affect them. I don't believe them.
Depression and mental health in general is often seen as a taboo subject, in particular with men. Why do you think this is?
Because fellas don't talk to each other. They have conversation, everything's just bang at them, everything's just all this. Let's have a laugh, let's, you know what I mean? Like, girls actually talk to each other, and that's asking each other how they are. Fellas, it's like, I don't know, the embarrassed stuff, saying like to the mate, I want to know something, I don't know what it is, but, you're absolutely bang on. Fellas don't talk to each other, whereas women are a lot more open with how they feel and their emotions, and they'll spread that and talk to their friends about it. Where I don't think men understand how they feel. I think that's what it is. I think it takes them a long time to understand what they're actually feeling and why they're feeling that way.
You recently became an ambassador of the Martin Gallia project. What made you want to work with the charity?
I just thought it was a great cause. I think what they do in the area and the message that they promote and the people that they're trying to help is something that I'm fully behind. And when I was approached, obviously, like I've said before, jumped at the opportunity. I think it's a great thing to get behind. And like you say, when you put a profile, it's nice to kind of get behind something that you fully believe in and spread that message. So that's right.
Touching back a little bit on the last question before, it's commonly known that more men than women lose their life to suicide. You've been affected by this yourself recently. Are you okay to talk a little bit about it?
What happened?
Yeah, and the emotions that you went through.
Well, it wasn't me personally. It was someone very close to me, and someone. Well, the person was very close to me, but it wasn't. Oh no, the person was actually very close to me. Yeah, so, it impacted me, my best friends, our partners, our families. It affected everyone. This person did a lot for a lot of people, and it was sad to see the effect it can have. I've never seen what the effect it can have before, but to see the effect that it has on people, not just immediate, but everyone around them, and then how people are still affected today, I think is you can't explain it until you've probably been in that situation. So I think obviously we devastated at the time, but the lasting effects I think is probably what's tougher to deal with, because it's tough to deal with. Do you know what I mean? How it's still affected people today, and family, friends. Do you know what I mean? Yeah, it's not nice.
You have spoken previously about suffering with depression and having those similar thoughts yourself. How did you cope with that, and how did you deal with that personally?
It was more anxiety, to be fair. Probably more anxiety that I struggle with, probably a little bit mildly depressed, but I probably didn't, to be honest with you. I didn't until I got really drunk on a Sunday when I shouldn't have been, and it all came out, and then obviously my partner, my wife now, got in contact with people, and I went to speak to people, and the first thing I did was just break down and cried as soon as I saw the fellow I went to speak to at the time. So it was special.
How did you?
I deal with it. That was dealing with it for me. I didn't until it was probably got to a point where you're kind of breaking down a little bit. So, but you can kind of see it now when people are struggling. Do you know what I mean? You can see the signs early doors in people. So, I think it gives you a little bit of education on, oh, well, that person's maybe not feeling great or that. So you can reach out to people every now and then and just check in with people. I think what it does for you is it makes you conscious of you're not the only one. I think you are. You think you are the only one, but you're not. And then you can start to see it in other people, and it gives you just. I think when you come in at it from an angle of you kind of know how you're feeling, people tend to open up a lot more to you. So I don't know if that answered your question, but it does stay.
You can see those signs in people because you've been through it yourself. But what advice would you give to someone who hasn't been through it, if they were to be there for someone who is going through it?
Just being open here. Just the best thing I thought about going to speak to someone professionally is that you've got someone in front of you that doesn't judge you, and I think that's why people go and speak to like the professionals, because that person's there not to judge you and challenge you in the right way. And so it's difficult to do that when you're emotionally attached with people, but I think that's the kind of the approach you, as best you can, try and take. You can't judge people by how they feel. You just have to be an open ear to always listen to, and not even give advice at times, just like I said, just listen. Because sometimes people just want to be heard, they want to get the chest, and I think that's the best thing you can do.